think something is happening to people right now, and nobody really wants to say it out loud. People are tired of surviving, not lazy, not weak, not unmotivated, tired. Tired of feeling mentally exhausted before the day even starts. Tired of pretending they're okay because everybody else online looks okay. Tired of working constantly and still feeling behind somehow. And I think a lot of people quietly feel like life stopped feeling human a long time ago. Because at some point, modern life stopped feeling like living and started feeling like maintenance. I don't think human beings were designed to absorb this much pressure all the time. Notifications, bills, emails, bad news, work pressure, comparison online, financial anxiety. Everybody's nervous system is overloaded now. And the strange part is, most people don't even realize how exhausted they become, because exhaustion slowly starts feeling normal. Some people wake up already overwhelmed before they even touch the floor in the morning. And there's never really silence anymore. Your brain is always somewhere else, thinking, preparing, worrying, recovering, trying to stay ahead of the problems that haven't even happened yet. And eventually, people stop feeling present in their own life. They start to mentally survive it. I think adulthood shocks people in a way nobody really prepares them for. Because when you're younger, you imagine adulthood as freedom. But for a lot of people, it slowly becomes maintenance. Your bills, your health, your relationship, your money, your mental state, your motivation. And eventually people stop asking, what would make me happy? They start asking, what can I afford to fall apart right now? That's survival mode. And the scary part is, some people have lived there so long, they don't even recognize it anymore. One of the strangest parts of modern life is how many people are quietly falling apart while looking completely functional. People still go to work, still answer text, still show up for dinner, still smile in photos, still say, I'm good. But emotionally, a lot of people are exhausted. And I think people became so afraid of burdening others that they started performing stability instead of actually feeling okay. Everybody's pretending that they're managing life better than they really are. And social media has made that even worse. Because now, you don't just experience pressure in private anymore. Now they watch everybody else's highlight reel while struggling, though, with their own life. Some people don't even feel like they're living anymore. They feel like they're trying not to drown quietly. I don't think people became numb because they stopped caring. I think people became numb because they cared for too long without relief. There's only so much pressure the human mind can absorb before it starts shutting things down emotionally. And eventually, people stop feeling deeply about anything. Not because they're cold, because they're overwhelmed. When survival mode becomes permanent, joy starts to feel irresponsible. Rest starts to feel guilty. Silence starts to feel uncomfortable. And some people become so used to being under stress that peace almost feels unfamiliar to them. That's a frightening way to live. But I think millions and millions of people are quietly living that way right now. Men and women are both exhausted right now, just in different ways. A lot of men feel pressure to constantly produce, to succeed, to provide, to never fall behind, to never look weak. And many women feel emotionally overloaded, expected to carry careers, relationships, family pressure, appearance pressure, emotional labor, while still somehow appearing emotionally balanced through all of it. And I think a lot of families are trying to survive inside systems that were never really meant to slow down anymore. Everything costs more. Everybody's mentally stretched thinner. And people are lonelier than they admit. That's why so many people feel emotionally disconnected right now. Because exhausted people don't always have the energy left to emotionally connect deeply. And honestly, I don't think people need another motivational speech right now. I think people need a little space to breathe again. Space to think clearly again. Space to feel human again. I still struggle with this too. I still catch myself drifting into survival mode, overthinking everything, trying to carry too much mentally, feeling like I always need to stay ahead of life somehow. And maybe that's why this conversation matters, because I think a lot of people quietly believe they're failing, when really they're just exhausted. Maybe the problem isn't weakness. Maybe people were never supposed to live under this much psychological pressure all the time. And maybe the first step isn't pretending we're fine anymore. Maybe it's finally admitting that people are tired. Tired of surviving. And hoping life eventually starts feeling human again.